Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today is 14th September 2019 and the topics for discussion are Oddeven Scheme, Uniform Civil Code, 5G Network, Map Aided Program and previous year question revision series. Now coming to our first topic, which is the Oddeven Scheme. Now this is in news because Delhi government has said that they are reintroducing the Oddeven Scheme from November 4th to November 15th. Okay, I will talk about the scheme. Now, the Oddeven Scheme is a part of the Delhi government's 7-point action plan to tackle pollution due to crop burning. You understand this? Crop burning in regions like Punjab and Haryana is actually a major air pollution issue for the surrounding regions, wherein Delhi also actually comes as a part. Now, because of the crop burning in these areas, the residues or the smoke, they rise up, and because of the flowing of the wind in that region, it ends up as smog and other pollutants in regions of Delhi. So, this Oddeven Scheme is one way to tackle this air pollution, thereby reducing the air pollution in the Delhi region. Now, in this scheme, the scheme aims to curb vehicular pollution and reducing traffic congestion on the roads of National Capital Region of Delhi. Okay. Now, the scheme entails allowing private vehicles whose registration number ends in even digits to go on even dates and those with odd digits to move on odd dates. Understand, for example, if the registration number of any vehicle is ending with an even number, then those vehicles can run on the roads only on even dated numbers. That is our idea. And if the registration plates of the numbers of the cars are ending with an odd number, then that can run only on odd dates. So this is how the Oddeven Scheme is going to run, and the violators for this scheme will be having a fine of 2,000 rupees. Okay. Now this move was aimed to combat the high levels of air pollution in winters when crop burning takes place in the neighboring states such as Haryana and Punjab. Now the studies conducted on this scheme has actually said that it has a potential to reduce the air pollution in Delhi by around 10 to 13%. Okay. Alright. Now we'll talk about when this scheme was first implemented. Now the Delhi government's Oddeven Scheme was first implemented for 15 days from January 1 to 15 in 2016. And then the second phase of this was implemented in 2016 itself from April 15th to April 30th. So 15 days and 15 days. Now this is going to be the third time, that is in the November of 2019, that the Delhi government is going to implement this Oddeven Scheme. So this is the three phases in which the Delhi government has implemented the Oddeven Scheme in Delhi. Alright, now we'll talk about the people who are exempted from the Oddeven Scheme. Okay, now in the previous two phases of the Oddeven Scheme, certain exemptions were granted for a few people. Now these were two-wheelers, women-only vehicles, CNG vehicles, hybrid and electric vehicles, emergency vehicles, VIP vehicles. Then there are vehicles of politicians, Supreme Court judges and defense vehicles, single women drivers and women drivers with children below the age of 12. So these were the people who were exempted from the Oddeven Scheme in the previous two phases. However, in the third phase, which is the latest phase, which is going to begin on November 13th, only emergency vehicles will be exempted. Okay. Now coming to the next topic, which is the Uniform Civil Code. Now this is the news because the Supreme Court has said that the government has actually failed to implement or bring in the Uniform Civil Code. Okay. Now we'll talk about the Uniform Civil Code, that the UCC. Now the Uniform Civil Code refers to that part of law which deals with family affairs of an individual and denotes uniform law for all citizens irrespective of his or her religion, caste or tribe. Now, a Uniform Civil Code administers the same set of secular civil laws to govern different people belonging to different religions and regions. Now, this supersedes the right of citizens to be governed under different personal laws based on their religion or ethnicity. Now, here what the basic idea is that You know, India is a very diverse country with respect to the population and the religion that it carries, the region from which people are varying, the various ethnicities that people come from. So, if you take the tradition or the history of India alone, people from different regions have their own different ways to govern themselves as a society. Marriage laws, for example, is one of these examples. Second example for this would be the inheritance law. So there are different laws for different sects of people, different groups of people. For example, Hindus will have one set of laws, Muslims will have a second set of laws, Christians will have another set of laws. So such different laws will be there governing that society. However, from the Constitution of India, which is Article 44 of the Constitution, it says that such kind of separate laws should not be there. Instead of such separate laws, there should be one uniform civil code, one uniform civil law, which actually manages all the civil aspects of an individual or the society as a whole. So this is where uniform civil law comes in. But however, the uniform civil code has not been implemented by the government of India till date. Okay. Alright. Now the common areas covered by the uniform civil code will include personal status, rights related to acquisition and administration of property, basically inheritance. Then we have marriage, divorce and adoption. So these are the three areas in which the Uniform Civil Code will cover. Now the UCC or the Uniform Civil Code will help in promoting gender equality. You do know as a fact that because of the different laws in different religions and regions and ethnicity, what happens is there is less gender equality. There is actually a bias between male and female in different cultures or religions. Male or the men are given more importance. They can inherit more rights. The daughters are not given any right in certain cases. Women are not given enough rights in certain cases. So such issues are there. Now with the implementation of Uniform Civil Code, such kind of gender disparity will go away and will bring more gender equality. Now in India, only Goa is the state that has implemented the directive principle of Uniform Civil Code. As I told you, it comes under Article 44. Now Article 44 comes under Part 4 of the Constitution, and Part 4 of the Constitution has, it says it is the directive principles of state policy. So under the Part 4, which is not actually justiciable but should be a guiding light for how the country should be governed. Those are the principles written in Part 4 of the Constitution, and under the Part 4 of under Article 44 is what UCC talks about. Now Goa is the only state in India which has implemented this, and in Goa it is being called as Goa Civil Code or Goa Family Law. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Alright. Now as I told you, we'll talk about the constitutional provisions. Now as per Article 44 of the Constitution, the state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. Now this article is included in Part 4 of the Constitution, and it deals with the directive principles of state policy. Now the objective of this article is to effect an integration of India by bringing all communities into a common platform, which is at present governed by personal laws which do not form any essence of any religion. So this is where the constitutional provisions of this Uniform Civil Codes come into. Alright. Now coming to the benefits of the Uniform Civil Code, first and foremost, it will promote secularism in the country. Now secularism actually here stands for having a unity between different religions in the country. Okay, as of now, different religions are there. In some cases you can see they are not going in a very peaceful manner. But if you actually bring this, it will bring forward or push forward for unity in different religions in the country. Now the second benefit is that it will reduce vote bank politics, and people will focus more on development rather than caste and religion issues. After that, it will obviously promote national integrity. Now this is going to be a positive step for upliftment of women, and thereby with upliftment of women there will be promotion of gender equality. Now this gender equality is also enshrined in the Constitution again under under the Part 4 of the Constitution. Now, the next benefit is going to be it'll rationalize legal and judicial proceedings and speed up the processes by simplification of laws and easier understanding of a common law amongst judges. Now, because of the different number of religions and the law books and how a society should be governed, the judiciary has to study all of this, which in turn, while dealing with these cases, it will lead to some sort of confusion. But if all the societies in our country, if all the religions are governed by a single law, then it will rationalize the judiciary, which means the cases can be dealt with more quickly and more efficiently, thereby dealing with any issues in a much more better fashion. Okay. Now the next topic is 5G network. Now this is in news because our minister, Ravi Shankar Prasad, has actually said that the spectrum auction for 5G network will happen by the end of this year or the early beginning of the next year. So by 2020 maybe we will get the auctioning of the 5G network. Alright, now we'll talk about the 5G network. Now South Korea and the US became the first countries to commercially launch 5G networks. First it was South Korea and then only US came in. Now India is yet to begin the trial as the government is targeting 2020 as the launch year for 5G in the country. Now the government has launched a 3-year program that started in March 2018 to advance innovation and research in 5G networks. Okay, now what is 5G network or what is 5G? Now this is basically the next generation cellular technology that will provide faster and more reliable communication with ultra low latency. Okay, now a government panel reports points out to the fact that 5G will produce data speeds up to 2 to 20 gigabits per second. Now compare that with the 4G where we currently get 6 to 7 megabits per second. So it is going to be much more faster. Alright, now we'll talk about the benefits of this thing. Now the consumers will be able to download data heavy content such as 8K movies and games with better graphics in just a few seconds. However, once 5G is actually brought inside, the commercial users will require to change their phones or their devices so that the devices is going to be 5G enabled. Now the next one is that 5G is expected to be forming the backbone of emerging technologies such as Internet of Things and machine-to-machine communications. Now this is going to support a much larger range of applications and services including driverless vehicles, telesurgery and real-time data analytics. Now the ultra low latency offered by 5G makes the technology reliable for such uses. Okay, now here latency means it is the amount of time data takes to travel between its source and its destination. Alright, okay, now we'll talk about the economic impact. Now 5G is expected to create a cumulative economic impact of $1 trillion in India by 2035. Now this is according to a report given out by the Government of India. Now additionally, a global telecom industry, GSMA, has forecast that India will have about 70 million 5G connections by 2025. Okay, now coming to the next area, which is the map aided program. Today we will be dealing with the Navagaon Nagzira Tiger Reserve. Now this Navagaon Nagzira Tiger Reserve is the 46th tiger reserve in India and the 5th tiger reserve in Maharashtra. So it's located inside Maharashtra. Okay. Now it is located in the districts of Gondia and Bhandara in Maharashtra and comprises an area which actually takes into account the areas of Navagaon National Park, Navagaon Wildlife Sanctuary, Nasgira Wildlife Sanctuary and Koka Wildlife Sanctuary. Now the predominant forest type in this tiger reserve is that of the tropical dry deciduous forest. Now coming to the previous year question revision series, the question for today is regarding carbon credits, which one of the following statements is not correct? The first one is A. Carbon credit system was ratified in conjunction with the Kyoto Protocol. B. Carbon credits are awarded to countries or groups that have reduced greenhouse gases below their emission quota. C. The goal of carbon credits is to limit the increase of carbon dioxide emission. And finally D. Carbon credits are traded at a fixed price from time to time by the United Nations Environment Programme. So here they've asked for which option is not correct. So I think this is an easy question if you know about carbon credits and if you know about environment. So the answer for this question is option D. It says carbon credits are traded at a fixed price from time to time by United Nations Environment Program, which is the wrong statement. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any doubts or queries, please write down in the comment section below. Thank you.